choice. You have had the privilege of being saved by the great tiger. You may think this is suffering. No. It is salvation. The universal scales tip toward balance because of your sacrifice. Smile. For even in death, you have become children of Thanos.
What's up, y'all? Tito, Drahcirs, Comics and Things and Sunshine. We in the house. What's going on, boys?
Not a whole lot.
Ready to get down on this little spoiler review.
Yeah, we're going to talk about, we all seen the same movie, right? I watched this movie about a father that was trying to reconnect with his daughter and prove how much he loved her. Did y'all watch that movie?
Well, I saw something like that. I don't know.
That's a vague description.
I thought it was touching. I know that shit. So what's been going on? What's been going on with you, Richard? What you dug up this week?
I did a lot of staring at the ground.
That's
about what my job entails.
You're supposed to find out what's in the ground, not stare at it.
Yeah, well, that happens later.
Hey, where's your little slaves at to dig up bones?
I don't even want to talk about work.
All right. Tito, what's up with you?
Nothing. You know, I definitely went to go watch that movie 11 o'clock on a Friday. So, you know, I had to dodge. I'm sure, like the rest of you guys, we had to dodge social media for you know, at least 1 or 2 days so we can get to watching this movie without being spoiled on anything.
Motherfucker, it was hard too. I got spoiled. People didn't even put spoiler alert. I already knew.
And you guys saw it before me, and I was all paranoid just being around you too.
Yo, we talked so much behind your back that you don't even know.
Oh no! I gave while you were trying to figure out life on your computer. I was telling Richard that I was sitting, as soon as that movie was over, I was sitting there like texting you, trying to hurry up so you get done with your movie so we could talk about it.
Right. And it was an interesting tale.
You guys were on a movie date.
Yeah, a long distance movie date.
No. Motherfucker didn't even send me a gift card for popcorn or nothing.
Dude, you can't even eat popcorn during that movie because if you put your eyes down or if you were like chewing, you would have missed something.
Who puts their eyes down when they're eating popcorn? I don't give a shit if that goes all over me. I'll swim in that shit.
All right.
So, do we want to jump right into this
Yeah,
movie, or do we?
Yeah, I would say jump into it.
So we're gonna do a full spoiler review. We'll just go the big scenes. We'll skip the bullshit. But then right after that,
we'll take your lead. We'll figure it out as we go. We'll have fun with this.
Right off the bat, you got Thor got his ass whooped. We don't know how. How do y'all
before we even see the title of the movie, this thing kicks off like at 11.
Then what happens is Hulk gets his ass whooped. I mean, bad. Loki dies. Did it set a good how y'all feel about how it set the tone for the whole day?
It was pretty oh shit from then until the end of the movie.
It didn't let up at all, did it?
No. You blink, you miss something in this movie.
Tito, how do you feel about it? Did any of that shock you though? Did Loki's death shock you or anything?
So I was really hoping there was a battle scene. You know, at least something to show what happened rather than just the aftermath of it. And I think, everybody kind of anticipated Loki to die.
I expected Loki to die. I expected a little more from his death, though. But that's what that is.
Anticlimactic.
Yeah, a bit.
Dude was in like 4 movies and just.
We're gonna kill you off in 30 seconds.
I mean, did he not get out of worse shit than that?
I want to know why. I have one question about that scene. Why did Loki not turn blue when he died?
Well, he turned purple. What the fuck?
No, but he's Ice Giant. Usually wouldn't he drop back to his actual form rather than being his illusion?
I don't know.
So I was actually talking to the ex about that, and I think Sunshine, we talked about a little bit, is that Thor actually made a statement, later on in the movie that, Loki has died before. So it wouldn't surprise me if somehow, some way he manifested himself, like he projected himself like he did in the other movies, but somehow gave him more of a physical, like, mass appearance versus just that hologram stuff.
Well,
I don't know.
I think he's pretty much fucking dead because I don't know if maybe the gauntlet had something to do with it, but he should have been able to like phase out of that or something. But
Loki's always been the trickster where he projects himself when he thinks something is about to happen.
And when does Loki not have a plan?
Yeah, it's like, why out of all the times, why would he not do it this time?
Well, they didn't really have a plan for that shit because they all got.
They should have had a
You
plan.
best believe you will have a plan when a big purple dude is coming up to you, and you could fucking project yourself as.
He just washed it. He washed your entire race out, just fucking in one.
But did he wash out your whole race, or did he send off half of them to do whatever the fuck they're doing?
I don't know what he did with them. Like, it didn't explain that. The shit blew up. I'm assuming they all died, but you say they couldn't have, but I don't know.
Rich, you want to add?
Thanos is so obsessed with his half the race all the time. Half the Asgardians, I'm convinced they're alive somewhere. Valkyrie's probably with them.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I think that the gatekeeper dude, y'all probably know his name. I'm just gonna call him Gatekeeper. He bifrosted them out using that black or dark magic he did for Hulk.
He couldn't have got them all out.
I'm sure he could. Everybody get in the circle. I'm about to fucking throw you somewhere.
Nah, that wouldn't be as dramatic though. But it does lead to like what happened to Valkyrie and them. And then we never saw Hawkeye in the shit. Or Ant-Man.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Well, it went with Valkyrie. I'm just making a checklist of who all wasn't in there. And so what happened next? You had
Hulk showed up. Well, Banner showed up to the street fight.
And then that's
that was
when
a
you
good
realized
fucking street fight.
Thanos was trained by Muhammad Ali and then fucked him up.
But you know what's funny? So it is from my understanding that the angrier the Hulk gets, the more powerful and stronger he got. So,
but did the Hulk get angry, or is he just scared shitless?
Well, that's what I'm saying is the Hulk was getting his ass whooped. Did he not get like angry, or was he like, oh, this is not how it's supposed to go, and like he lost all his strength because of it?
Well, can he get knocked the fuck out? Like, he was knocked out. Like, has he never been knocked out before? Obviously not. I didn't even know he could get knocked the fuck out. But I guess Hulks can get concussions too. I don't know. He got fucked up.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is during the fight, I can only assume, like after the first punch, Hulk would be like, "Oh hell nah," and then like, brrr, and go in and just thrash Thanos around.
Yeah, but then Thanos just bodied him. I don't think he realized how strong Thanos was.
Did Thanos have any of the stones with him? He had 2, right? Or 1? Or 0?
He had 1.
He had 1 at that point. He had the Power Stone. He didn't have the Space Stone yet.
Yeah, that makes sense then. If he had the Power Stone, that increases his fucking strength. So he bodied Hulk like that.
I guess Hulk turned a little bitch for the rest of the movie. I know that.
Yeah, it's that's gonna turn into like an oh shit moment. He's back in the next one.
Round 2.
Yeah. So what happened next? Let me see. We
They
had
get launched to the Doctor Strange's little clubhouse.
Sanctorium.
Hulk does, and Thanos sends him off, sends his little Black Order people to Earth to collect the stones.
Yep.
And then Banner lands in Strange's place. That's yada 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 fuck shit. We'll skip to the good part. Then the Black Order, and then Iron Man.
I just want to say it was good
Sure.
comedy during that scene, though.
It
was good comedy.
In order to not,
But anyway,
we know how Tito's battery is. We can't go through all that.
No, what I was about to say, and Rich, you brought up a good point. Is that I don't know about you guys, but some of the comedy that they threw in was probably at the worst time, but still made it funny.
yeah.
Like somebody legit died like a second ago, and then there's a joke, and you're just like, wait, what? What just happened?
There is one character that I thought had a shitty ass performance and kind of almost killed it for me, but we'll get to that later.
Okay.
There's a shitty performance that I'm gonna talk about later. So,
Okay.
but who was that motherfucker
from the Dark Order?
Yeah, that's who I was saying. What was his name?
I know he has
Ebony Maw? Which
Ebony
one?
Maw. Ebony Maw.
Ebony Maw's this lanky looking old one.
Yeah.
He looked like the fucking villain from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude was the beast, man. I like that dude.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man shows up. What about his homeboy, though? Dude was like, all Peter Parker said was, hey, I need a distraction. Dude did not even fucking hesitate.
It's a good friend is what that is.
That's a ride or die. He didn't even say,
he was
well,
ride or
why?
die. He was like, fuck it, I got this.
He was like, fuck. That dude's cool. We need to see more of him.
But the thing is that, like, well, I guess it wouldn't matter. Nobody paid attention that Spider-Man left, or Tom Holland left, or Peter Parker left.
Hey, where's Peter? I don't know. Aliens got him.
Well, in his defense, though, there was a giant alien spaceship to look at. They were looking at that shit. So then you got the showdown. Hulk can't transform, so Iron Man has to take the guy on. And Strange was a bitch in his movie, I think, compared to this shit.
Oh, we can see his advancement in the 2 to 3 years since we've actually seen him do something. He's a badass in this movie.
Like I didn't really like Doctor Strange, but now I like Doctor Strange. You know what I'm saying?
He's been studying.
Yeah, he's a boss. I like the conflict between them too. Like Tony Stark and Doctor Strange, both of them trying to be a boss.
Yeah.
But that
Sunshine, you said that Hulk couldn't transform. Any theories on that? And please not make it like 3 days worth.
yeah, he got the shit beat out of him, and he's scared shitless. He don't want to fuck with them.
Bruce's problem now.
Yeah, Bruce got all the balls now. I don't know.
What was
Folks,
there?
like, take me back to the luxury planet where I get to hang out in the hotel room. I don't need to deal with this purple raisin guy.
Yeah, fuck all that shit.
Is there a storyline that kind of coincides with Hulk being scared and Banner taking over? Do you know of any?
There's been a couple back in the 80s and 90s, but I don't really recall them being important.
Yeah, neither do I.
I don't really, yeah.
I think like he'd do that and then he'd change colors or something. Like he'd be Red Hulk and then something like that.
Red Hulk. That's a whole different character, dude.
Like when he came back, like he would be different somehow, stronger.
Gray? The Gray Hulk?
I didn't really read Hulk. I'm a DC guy, but the movies is fucking sick. Like that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But they put out such sick movies and trash ass comics. I don't understand it.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
You're going down the wrong rabbit hole here.
I know. I said that's a different topic for a different day. Come on, man.
What'd you think of Stark's new nanotech?
It didn't do him whole. That shit was sick. Like, I liked it.
I was into it.
I think it was too soon. I don't know. Like I don't think he's a smart cat. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it was the right time. I think he had like maybe two more movies before he introduced that. Because
part of me wonders, like, did he have some conversations with Hank Pym and figure out some shit, or what? How did he get to that point?
yeah, I mean that's just like a serious jump. You know, it's like him. And now, if he had conversations with Wakanda and how they, try to do all that kind of stuff, okay, I kind of see that. But for him to just come up with it on his own, it's like, whoa, a little bit too fast and fast, man.
We did skip one thing though. I want to go back to. Do we think that little Pepper and Tony Stark has that little conversation about the dreams and the baby and all that is going to have any effect here?
Refresh.
I could see her being pregnant and Stark dying.
Yeah, that was one of my theories too. That she was pregnant with Riri Williams, who was actually Killmonger, was the daddy, and then Tony Stark's off dead somewhere, and then that's fucked up shit.
Well,
that's not really.
I actually read up on that, and in the dream in the movie, Tony called him Morgan, but in the comics, Morgan was, I think, a brother or cousin, some family member that was after Tony in Industries.
Well, we'll sit on that because that's getting ahead of ourselves right now. So
I wanted to feel smart for once. Damn, you all always the smart one. Shit.
No. So Strange gets captured, right? Iron Man goes up in the ship, but the only person that knows Iron Man's gone is Spider-Man, who's with him. But Iron Man doesn't know Spider-Man's with him.
Bro, a whole city saw them go up.
I bet you Pepper knows that Tony's gone too.
Oh, yeah, they were talking on the phone, and then he lost signal with her.
And dude, I'm sure Pepper's like, shit's bad, guys.
Yeah. But nobody knew. They didn't even know where they were going, so. But they had to figure out how to get Strange back.
Well, did they? What was that girl's name? Jarvis's replacement.
Friday.
Yeah.
Was there still calm between them two?
No, when he lost service with Pepper Potts, he lost service with that thing too.
Okay.
Did he though? Or are we just left to assume that? He doesn't have any conversations with his suit in this movie.
Yeah, he don't. Well, no, he does. He called the spider suit for Peter.
Yeah, but that's early on. I'm talking from later on. He never even really attempts to talk with his suit. He just kind of does shit.
I just assume that if he can't talk to Pepper, he can't talk to the suit, like the main frame.
I assume the suit is like itself. It's self-contained though.
Yeah, it's based on like a super server through satellite or something.
But as far as it giving coordinates, I don't think it could have done that. I don't think it could communicate with like the main.
Yeah, I don't know. We need to see Stark's blueprints and breakdown of his suits.
Yeah. Because Banner's just fucking riding around in his suits now like they ain't shit, like it's a fucking Ford Escort or something. But, yeah.
What'd you think about the Iron Spider suit?
Fuck, that thing was just, I mean, that was perfect. I didn't even.
I love the Iron Spider suit.
Like, they didn't even show the legs or nothing in the preview, did they?
No.
No.
I completely forgot the legs could be a thing in this movie, and then they happened. I was like, oh shit, oh, that's right.
Y'all got to look for that tribute to Michael Turner cover thing, though, because they did that pose in it. The Civil War pose.
I need to rewatch the movie anyway.
Yeah, me too.
That shit was sick.
I think, like, one of the funniest lines was, like, right when he got that suit, when he was like, what would he say? The suit smells like a new car. It's a new car smell.
Yeah. And then, like, Tony starts getting on him about all the pop culture references, but it turns out
the Aliens
he
reference.
Used the movie Alien.
Yeah.
He used the movie Alien to get rid of that guy.
Do you think Ebony Maw is actually dead?
Yeah,
Do you think we're going to see the return of the Black Order in any form, or they fucked up? They're done.
I think half of them's done because he wiped out half of them.
Well, to be honest with you, does Thanos need anybody now? Like he's so egotistical and
Thanos check.
narcissistic.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's stop there. Let's just.
Okay.
Okay, so then we get to Thor.
Thor's a badass in this movie.
Lands on the Guardian of the Galaxy ship.
The Milano.
Yeah, Drax wants to fuck him, I guess.
Star-Lord and Thor's interaction is probably the funniest thing for me in this movie.
That was
deepening
good.
Deepening his voice to act like he's talking like him. Are you mocking me?
That part was good, and I'll get to him later, but that's my little, like, fuck him thing, too. I think
Star-Lord fucks up royally later on, but we'll get there.
But yeah, we'll get there. And then, so Thor takes off to get his axe with Rocket. Yeah. With Rocket and a group who can't get off the fucking game. And who's left? Gamora, Drax, and Star-Lord.
Mantis.
And Mantis go to nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we could just go ahead and body through Thor real quick. Thor goes and starts the fucking sun back up.
Because he's Thor and he can do that.
Yeah. Now, I like how the little midget from Game of Thrones was the giant in this shit.
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah. Like he was finally a big dude.
He was good in that. Like I like the weird thing he did with his voice. I don't know why. It's like gravelly and loud, even though he's a dwarf.
Yeah. And
so hold on. Before we get to that, I want to go back to Rich, what you were saying, or Sunshine, one of y'all, were actually when we're talking about Thor's ship, and we don't know what happened with the rest of Asgard, but fast forward to the dwarf. He pleaded with Thanos if he built the gauntlet to let his people go, and Thanos pretty much said, "Yeah, let's do that." And then he forged the gauntlet.
Yeah,
that's right. He
Except
killed everybody, but kept the dwarf. So is it safe to assume now that everybody on Thor's ship is dead based off what happened?
See, I think the motives are different there. I think the reason he would kill everyone in that forge is so that another gauntlet can't be made. Like he had actual purpose for that. What's his purpose for destroying Asgard? All of Asgard, rather.
Because Thor is the one guy that can hang with him.
He doesn't know that. He's cocky and doesn't think Thor a bunch of Thor. Anyway, he already almost killed Thor early in the movie.
He had to have heard of Odin in them, like he knows their powers.
Yeah, but he's no Odin. Though he might be, but he's no Odin right now.
That motherfucker's getting close. He's getting close.
I mean, he is. If the end of the movie could go in a way that, he's pretty badass, but we'll get to that later too. So he has to build this axe. He builds the axe by starting up the heart of the dead sun. Apparently, a dead sun is now a big mechanical fucking keychain looking thing now.
Sure. I don't study astronomy.
Yeah, so we just... Well, you saw the motherfucker. Hell, it looked like a prison. So he builds
like a big fucking court from a baseball. That's what it looked like, but black.
What was up with this axe? Was that ever, like, in a story or something? Because I don't read...
Stormbreaker? Yeah, that's definitely from...
well, that's Beta Rail. That's Beta Rail. Whatever the fuck that dude's name. That's
Beta
his axe. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so is Beta, and that's what I'm saying is Asgard. He kills half of the population of the planet or the race because Asgard had all kinds of different races from different planets on it. So I don't know if them people are dead or not.
All right, if we're gonna go that route, I'm gonna say like 3 seconds. So on the tower of the collector's brother, right? It had the statues of like the Hulk was being built, Beta Ray, and whoever else. So I'm assuming the Hulk either beat Beta Ray. Or Beta Ray won his freedom and like left.
See, I was assuming he probably won his freedom and left.
Yeah, so he might have like is gone. Like Beta Ray
knows where he is now.
Too. All right, go ahead.
Oh, I was reading the chat. My bad. So then we go to Gamora. She tells Peter what? That she knows where the key is, right? Or where the stone is.
No, she knows. She said she knows a secret that Thanos doesn't know. She know.
Oh yeah, and then if
I need you to kill my
Thanos gets
ass.
her, to kill her. If Thanos gets her, promise me he'll kill her.
Yeah.
Kill me, whatever.
Yep.
So they get to nowhere. Thanos is beating the shit out of the Collector.
Wait. Reverse. All right,
What?
go. He doesn't beat anybody yet. How does this scene open up?
They get to nowhere, and it looks like Thanos is just now starting to interview the Collector.
Yeah,
for lack of a better
everybody
word,
else.
interrogate.
Everybody else is dead in nowhere. You don't see anybody else. So apparently,
We don't know anyone's dead though. When you get to nowhere,
right? Well, what we're saying, you're getting ahead of the shit, Sam. Okay, so you think everybody's dead anyways? So
Everybody's
Thanos
gone.
beat the
Let's
shit
put it like that. Everybody's gone because we didn't see any bodies.
right, Thanos is beating the shit out of the Collector. They think they got the jump on him. Gamora goes up, stabs the fuck out of him.
but before that, Drax does Drax things.
Yeah, but nobody listened to Quill, and
That's nothing new.
let me see what else. Okay, so she stabs the shit out of him. Take it from there. Since you wanted to get into
Richard, you lead off.
Clearly, Thanos already had the Reality Stone because it was all an illusion.
and he knew they were coming. How did he know they were coming? That's what I don't understand.
That's actually a good question.
How did Thanos know that they were coming? Because he set all that up.
Unless he figured Gamora was going to go after him regardless.
But he was just going to sit
It
there
is
and wait.
it is his daughter.
Like, all those things had to come into play. Like, they had to show up and pick up Thor and then decide to go to nowhere. How did Thanos know that?
I mean, they don't need to know about Thor. Thanos doesn't need to know about Thor to have a hunch that they're going to show up at nowhere because they know one of the stones are there.
But that's what started off the chain of events, though. Like, they wouldn't have went to nowhere if they didn't pick up Thor.
So let me ask you this. Let's say we're in this real world right now. Now, Thanos right now, like, fuck, I would say snap his fingers, but we already know what that shit happens. But he clicks in his reality stone and it like changes the environment and the scenery. Is there a way where in your brain it can't compute that and you automatically assume that you in that fake reality? You see what I'm saying? Like, maybe he heard them and just like went into reality mode right before everything happened.
And we really don't know what Thanos is entirely capable of.
Well, he didn't
MCU.
have the reality stone at that point. He didn't get that. Doctor Strange had that.
No, Doctor Strange has the Time Stone.
Yeah, he had the time stone.
Oh, well, fuck. Okay.
So, and it's okay. Here goes another thing. When I guess he revealed himself out of the fake reality, the Collector waved goodbye. So, was that, how does that work? Was that the Thanos, like, making that little animation say goodbye, or was that the Collector himself actually saying goodbye as he was being?
I mean, we don't even know. We don't really know what these stones are capable of. The colors themselves are even different in MCU than the comics, so we're kind of just going off face value on this stuff.
Do you think he was dead? Do you think the Collector was dead at the time of the phasing?
I bet he was probably already dead at that point, and the Collector was just a projection.
Okay.
See, if he'd have had the Soul Stone at that point, see, all these gems are supposed to be like living entities themselves, right?
Yeah.
So if he'd have had the Soul Stone, it would have made sense because he could have just like projected his actual soul. that's
We'll get to that.
we'll get to that later too. But it just some of the shit happened like a little quicker than it made sense to me.
I mean, they can only do so much in a
I guess
2.5-hour movie.
You bring up a good point. Is that he set up a reality where how did he know that the crew was going to be there?
Right, because that whole chain of events with Thor had to happen, and he didn't know.
Unless he saw them
Thor.
approaching. If he saw them approaching, he had plenty of time to set it up.
That's
There's so many what ifs right there.
You know, if the spaceship had some kind of like a beacon where it says incoming aircraft coming in and lets whatever know.
Well, that was his next destination anyway, so we'll just go with that. Fuck it. Because Let's just move on.
Let's just move on.
Yeah, fuck this. Because it really would have been his next destination. He got the shit from Thor, then they showed up to save Thor because they got the little beacon. So if they had a beacon saying that ship was in danger, then surely Thanos has a beacon saying somebody's incoming. He just assumed it's Gamora. We're gonna go with that.
Or he doesn't even need to assume it's Gamora, but yeah.
Yeah, fuck it.
Then what's next?
Back to Iron Man. So they're floating through whatever, and they end up. No, wait. We're on Vision, right?
Yeah,
so
Vision's next.
Yeah, Vision and Scarlet Ho is just spending weeks banging in a hotel room,
which is weird, but okay.
I actually really like Scarlet Witch in this movie. I felt like they gave her way more to do than she's had in previous movies.
Well, they were supposed to check in, apparently, and they weren't checking in because they were too busy.
They're on vacation.
Having android robot sex. But
were they too busy, or were they just going to run away and never come back?
They were kind of like in hiding because he had turned off his little transceiver shit.
Because wasn't there talk of him? Well, who was it? Was it Vision himself, or it was Vision that said, "Let's not go back. Let's just go."
Yeah. Also, Vision looking like an actual person.
No, he was going back. She tried to talk him out of it because she was going somewhere to like.
He was trying to convince her not to go, though. He was trying to let's just do us. Screw everything else.
So then
then he was having those headaches, like. The Soul Stone was giving him warning.
And then the backwoods Lady Death shows up and tries to beat their ass and kill. And then we have Captain America show up with Black Widow, Falcon.
Black Widow was a badass in this movie.
Yeah, hold on. No. Well, wait, hold on.
Oh, we got Tito's favorite scene. Hold on.
Hold on. We can't. We have to acknowledge how fucking Captain America just came out of the shadows and caught that spear and was like, "What's up?"
But how long was he waiting in the shadows just watching this? Like, let them get their ass beat a little bit, and then I'm going to step out and I'll look cool. It'll be great.
Bro, look. When I saw Captain America, I swear to God, you saw a 40-year-old fucking teenager fanboy the fuck out in the theater. Because as soon as he popped out, I literally like yelled out, "Fuck yeah!" and was like fist pumping the air like I was in a GTL old TV show. That shit was badass. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. That was like my favorite scene out of the whole. The whole movie was that damn scene.
Like, did they do nothing but train and shit between Civil War and now? Because fucking Steve Rogers was yoked the fuck up. Like, he was big as shit.
But
and Black Widow could hang with these motherfucking alien bitches that could just be.
Black Widow's like, aliens, no big deal. I'll just take your weapon. It's fine.
Yeah, she's fucking kung fuing the fuck out of them with no superpowers whatsoever. Fucking these people up.
Hey, so let's go to the speculators and speculation aspect of Captain America. Because everybody was saying it was, well, not everybody, but there were some folks, online and stuff that were talking about Nomad. Was Nomad the actual word, term, title used for Steve Rogers at all?
No, he was, Nomad was
a masked hero all by himself. So I think the Nomad idea kind of got thrown out.
Yeah,
He was
because
a stand-in.
I remember
a
like
stand-in
everybody was
for
like Captain America is Nomad now.
He was a stand-in for Captain America, but that was like a trash ass whole series from the '90s. It didn't do nothing.
All right, go ahead.
So,
How
fuck,
the
I
fuck
don't
did
even
they
know.
die?
How did who die? They didn't die. Remember, the lady said, "You had your chance to kill us. You won't get it again." And then they beamed up in their fucking starship, took off.
Yeah, okay. Beam me up, Scotty. Now I remember. And Vision was all fucked up because he got cut.
They're like, let's go on a vacation to Wakanda.
Yeah, and then we're in Wakanda, right?
No, we have the Ross scene first.
Oh yeah.
Did we not do that? What the fuck? Oh, I was trying to, and then you. Okay.
Yeah, it's our fault.
We had to get through Yoked Rogers. And his fucking catching of the spear. So, all right. So,
He was waiting for
Spider-Man
20 minutes
says-
for that moment.
so Iron Man and Spider-Man meet up. He's like, "Hey, I'm here. What the fuck? What do you want me to do?" Iron Man says, "You're an Avenger now." Spider-Man says, "Like, well, let's beat him using like fucking aliens. Like, well, shoot the goddamn thing." And so, anyways, long story short, they blow the guy out of the fucking hole.
He freezes over.
Yeah, he's fucking dead. And now their ship is landing on Titan, but they don't know how to land it, so they figure out how to land it. Doctor Strange is pretty much just does some magic shit and it lands.
Well, Tony was driving it and can't figure it out. And did Doctor Strange do something? I don't remember Doctor Strange doing anything.
Tony figured out he just wasn't big enough to pilot it. He tried to get
That's
Spider-Man
right.
to get it in the other side, and then Doctor Strange's like, let's just make a shield and hope we don't die.
Yeah, he surrounded the cockpit part that they were in and some shit. Okay, so then wait, we skipped the Guardians part. So Gamora gets taken by Thanos. We didn't even go through that shit.
Okay. Let's
Okay,
go.
so Gamora ganks fucking Thanos, who she thinks is Thanos. Thanos turns out it's just a fucking alternate reality thing. And Thanos takes Gamora, and Peter Quill bitches out and doesn't shoot her. Then when he goes to try to shoot her, turns into bubbles and all this shit. And Thanos basically has Gamora. Thanos knows that Gamora knows where the stone is. She doesn't know that, but has Nebula tied up, fucking her up.
Yo, that was bad, dude. Like
is Nebula like?
Fucked up. Yeah, I was like, damn, that sucks to be her.
She's had a pretty tough life.
Eyeballs being popped out, fucking arms being extended, legs being extended.
But that goes along with like the end of the story, like part 4, how Thanos gets beat. They're playing into that, so it makes sense. But long story short, Gamora tells him where the fucking stone is. He goes to the place where the stone is, and who's there? Red Skull, right? How did Red Skull get there? Rich.
He was teleported there back in Captain America 1. And the stone started to use him because he was obsessed with the fucking stones.
Okay, you're supposed to explain like this part, dude.
Yeah. He's there looking like Nick Fury Watcher.
he's like the stone keeper, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so where's the stone?
Hold up. What makes him, like, who appointed to say, since you want this fucking stone, we are now giving you the keeper of the stone, and you can never have it because you don't love anybody, so you're just stuck here.
Yeah, like
See,
how did he
get
stuck there?
That's one of those things too, where it's like, does a stone have its own will, and the stone did this shit, or is there someone?
That's what we said earlier. Was the stones are their own sentient beings?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But is this the only stone that actually has that ability?
No,
you don't see any.
They all have different abilities in different ways, but we have to get into that later too, because that goes along with another theory. So.
Oh God,
Well,
you and your theories.
No,
I don't
this one's
think-
actually better. You'll probably agree with this one.
You know what? I don't think all the rest of the stones are sentient. I think the Soul Stone is the only
That's
sentient one.
that's what I'm trying to get at. I'm wondering if in the MCU the Soul Stone is the only one that actually has sort of a consciousness behind it.
Yeah, I'm thinking so, just because by virtue of a soul.
In the comics, they do, and then they said,
Yeah, but the stones in the comics are completely different than these stones.
yeah, but they did say Visions, if they took it out a certain way, it'd kill him because it was alive in its own. That's what would save him. If they took the stone out because it was its own living thing, they could save him, and he could keep the memories, and the stone would keep its memories, and they could destroy the stone, and Vision would live. That was so the stone's alive.
See, I didn't make the leap that the stone was alive from that. I just figured that the stone was so integrated into his mind that it was a core piece that you can't just rip out. Spoilers.
Boy, Vision had it rough, dude. That's fucked up. We'll get to that. But yeah, it was something when they were in Wakanda. She said something about like, why didn't you just do this? Because then you could have just took the stone out in itself because it's its own thing.
Well, maybe it's just a power supply. It's not really alive, but more a power supply.
I mean, I think of it as like a cyborg because he's a robot where it's just integrated into his mind. It's dangerous to just rip it out of there, and it takes time to make sure you're separating it properly.
I still think all the fucking stones are like alive in their own little way. So,
I mean, they could be, but what proof do we have that for that in the MCU? In the comics, I completely agree with you. I'm just curious if that's how they're approaching it in the movies.
I know the Soul Stone's got to be alive because it pops like.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
So why wouldn't the other ones be?
Because it's the Soul Stone.
But
yeah, I'm with Rich. It's a Soul Stone. Any other stone would be probably Visions, but I think his is more of a power supply than anything else.
I mean, and it's the Mind Stone that Vision has, so that's also why I think it's integrated into his mind, so to speak, why you have to take time to actually remove it. But again, it's all just theory crafting. Let's move on. We're not going anywhere with this.
okay, so you were supposed to go on to how like Red Skull explains everything to Thanos on how to get the stone. Like that was the purpose of him being there. He has to explain to people how he gets the stone. So I'll do it for you.
Good job.
Red Skull tells him that Red Skull tells Thanos that you have to, in order to get Soul Stone, you have to sacrifice something you love. And then Gamora's like, ha ha, bitch, you don't love nobody and shit. And I used to come here and watch you and you never loved anything and da 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 da. But then he's sitting there bulking up crying, and Red Skull, he's the little spoiler alert ass bitch.
Hey, hold on. We gotta reverse because you missed the Back to the Future sequence with Baby Gamora. Why was Baby Gamora kept alive? Why was she the chosen one and shit?
I was fixing to get to that. Just calm down, Tito, because damn, you just fucked me all up. Look, so he's in there. She's sitting there saying, "Ah, you don't love nobody." But in this whole time, he's sitting there crying because he's thinking in his head how he met her.
And this is the scene where I realized I actually give a shit about Thanos.
And then Gamora's sitting there thinking this whole time he never loved her or nothing like that. She always wanted him to, but never did. But Thanos is sitting there knowing he has to kill her, thinking about this shit in his head about when she was little, gave him the sword. And that's when you realize, hey, fuck, he loves her. She didn't realize that until he turned around, and then fucking Red Skull's like, hi, he actually loves you, bitch, so you're going to die. And she realizes she's going to die. He picks her up, says, sorry, little one, because he's still in his mind thinking about the balanced sword and all that little girl shit. He says, okay, little one, see you later, and throws her off the fucking cliff. Then the Soul Stone appears.
Okay, hold up. Pause. Is there a coincidence, just a funky-ass coincidence, that out of all the people that knew where the Soul Stone was, it was Gamora, and it was only Gamora, the only one that could give Thanos the Soul Stone.
I mean, they briefly explained that the
Yeah,
reason
because
she's the only one that knows about it because she destroyed the only map to get to it.
and plus she
But out
said,
of
when I was a little kid,
motherfuckers in the universe, it had to be Thanos' daughter, who he loves, and the only one that can possibly get him the Soul Stone.
but did she not say, like, I came to you to this mountain 100 times and you never could find
No,
anything you loved?
that was the throne scene where we've been here a million times. That wasn't on that planet.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just it's a weird coincidence. Out of a billion motherfuckers, it was his daughter who he loves that he has to sacrifice to get.
How would this movie change? How would this movie change if Nebula was the one that had found the Soul Stone's location?
Man, please.
He would have ripped it. He would have ripped that bitch in half. He wouldn't have even fucking hesitated. He'd be like, "Oh, really? Fucking shit."
No, that's a waste of parts. He wouldn't do that.
Oh, he would have disassembled that bitch. She'd have been in a toolbox in 2 seconds. Guys, different setup.
It's just a weird coincidence that everything it was Nebula, and the only person that pretty much Thanos loved. I mean, not Nebula, fucking Gamora.
And this gets to one of my theories that you might actually go along with this time, Rich, dickhead. Now, Gamora dies and then the stone appears. So that somebody had to die for this. The stone didn't exist. So is Gamora's soul the stone?
Well, the stone existed. It was just in safekeeping.
But if it's a living thing and it needs a soul to form, wouldn't it be her soul that formed it and it would be in control?
I kind of have the assumption that the Soul Stone has multiple souls within it. She might be one within it now, but
not yet because it wasn't activated or whatever.
I mean, it was activated. It was just behind a fancy lock.
Yeah, the Soul Stone was always a Soul Stone. Yeah. Now
it always existed. It was just behind a kill your loved one lock.
Now, is it like a lock where when somebody is sacrificed, their soul goes into that and kind of like powers it up a little bit?
I don't know. I think it's possible because due to what happens later on in the movie, who he talks to, that it could be her soul running the fucking place.
Okay, fast forward. Let's continue.
That's later on though. Fuck. Okay, so then we have Iron Man and Captain whatever, Doctor Strange, whatever, all them motherfuckers. And then the Guardians of the Galaxy show up and they start fighting.
Yeah, on the ship.
Now, this is what I don't like, because I think Star-Lord was a little too much. Like, even when, like, he was going to, like, when she was sitting there saying, "Shoot me, you promised you'd kill me," and he's sitting there talking about, "You ball chin motherfucker," like.
I mean, that's always been his personality, though.
Yeah, but
that's not out of character for him.
It didn't.
He's a dude who flips off the camera when he's getting arrested, and when he finds out his mom is dying, he goes ballistic with guns and shoots his dad a million times. He's always been kind of a firecracker.
But if he's supposed to love her, you saw that Gamora's performance was like, you could convey that was. I don't think he conveyed that he loved her at all. You know what I mean?
I think he conveyed her perfectly. Like, if somebody was like, "Oh, you have to kill your wife that you love," even though, like, if you don't, the world's going to end. You're still going to have that afterthought of, I don't want to kill my wife. You know, I love her.
But during all that, he's still sitting there cracking jokes, like talking about how Thanos' chin looks like a ball sack and all this shit. Flipping him off after he puts the grenade on his back. He's just not taking it seriously at all.
I'd argue that's just his whole character. He never takes something super seriously.
Like, everybody else was in this dark place, and then he's just being the same. You know what I mean? I didn't like
Well,
it.
you gotta remember he's been dealt a shitty hand too.
Yeah, it's kind of like his coping mechanism.
Yeah.
I didn't like his performance. He kind of killed it for me. That's just my opinion.
Literally, he
Well,
killed.
I mean, later on, he really fucks up. So
He literally killed this movie.
Okay,
he's
so
got some
then like
explaining to do.
Iron Man's group and Guardians group figures out who they are, and they start like, okay, well, how the fuck can we get off this planet? And then Thanos shows up. Right? Am I missing anything between that?
You missed a dialogue in Wakanda.
Well, I'm trying to like pace through like certain storylines
Okay,
that I can't.
Okay.
So Thanos shows up, and they're like, "Is this your fucking world?" And he's like, "It used to be." Da 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 da. Well, they start.
Doesn't
fighting.
he go into the reasoning and logic of
Yeah,
why he's doing it?
Yeah, and he shows them what his planet used to look like, and use the Reality Stone and all that fun stuff.
And
Now,
they're
what
still-
made him go spastic? What made him go the Mad Titan? That everybody from his homeland was like, "Dude, you're a fucking psycho." What was it?
He came up with the idea that everyone had to, like, half the population had to die randomly, and they thought that was insane and genocide. And
there's only so many resources in the universe. It's not infinite. They run out. And where everybody in the universe is using the resources faster than the universe can keep up. So his theory is kill half the universe, then the universe can catch back up. Everything in the long term, it's supposed to let everybody like live happier and more free and prosper.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But he has to kill fucking hundreds and thousands of people. He says he wants to do it. Once he gets the gem, he'll snap his finger, half of it'll be dead, and then he can finally rest and watch his little sunset for the first time.
Well, we don't know that until Gamora talks about that.
Gamora just got thrown off a fucking cliff. We missed that. So we're going back. Alright. So
all this tells me is that we should not be writing movies.
Well, no, because in my mind, like my little theories I got, they should.
Yeah,
if that's aliens. If that's not how the next movie goes, then I think that Marvel really needs to look at my job application.
All right.
I know I could write better than Dan Slott, and they hired that motherfucker.
Hey, what do you think about Thanos acknowledging Tony Stark?
Yeah, okay, that's another one. So Tony and him's talking, and he's like, "So you're Stark," and Tony's like, "Well, the fuck do you know who I am?" And he's like,
Part
"I
of
know
me is
all
like-
kinds of shit."
See, part of me that scene right there, I'm like, did the nuke that Tony threw up there, was that one of Stark's nukes? And he's just like, oh, this Stark asshole tried to kill us all. And then he just sort of made the assumption.
Well,
That's what I think. I mean, dude, if a warlord, his plan is being fucking just like succumbed, you're going to try to find out what happened, and then they're going to know Iron Man did it, and then who's Iron Man? Tony Stark. And you're just going to have a marked head. Like, if I was Thanos, I would have went for Iron Man like right off the bat and take him out just because he fucked up my plan in part one.
Yeah, but his answer to that question was weird too, because he said, "I know all kinds of like useless
I
information."
feel like that's just screwing with.
But he
Tony.
said, "Just like you."
Yeah,
And
it's
we
just
know-
screwing with Tony.
We know that Tony's been like thinking about the little like everybody's dead thing, and then he's been thinking like all his dreams and shit come to life. So is he in his head somehow? Is what I'm thinking.
Are their minds linked in some way?
I don't know. I don't know. But the fact that he says just like you, kind of like, well, how the fuck's he know what he's thinking? You know what I mean?
Probably because
I
arrogance.
mean, they both have control issues.
Yeah, arrogance.
Yeah.
He might have just been drawing us like we're not that different, you and I, type of situation.
But it still doesn't know how he knows what's going on in his head, how he even knew who he was. But that goes with my thing. Like, I think some of the stone things were like in random places, because if he'd have had the Mind Stone, that would have explained that. You know what I mean? Like, he has a Mind Stone, he knows fucking everybody. He can read your mind. but he didn't yet. So I don't know. That's kind of a broken little plot point.
I just think that fucking Thanos knows Tony because Tony fucked up his plan in part 1, and Thanos did some research and found out that it was Iron Man who in turn is Tony Stark.
That's kind of my idea, but we don't really know the details in between. But that's kind of what I was assuming anyway.
Okay, so they start fighting. And Doctor Strange is badass, is he not? But then you get to see the Iron Spider suit. And I was just in awe of that shit the whole time.
Yeah,
They were all
that-
badass in that fight.
yeah,
that little
suit
dude is a
some
badass
cool shit.
Spider-Man. That little dude is a badass Spider-Man.
He is. He is Spider-Man.
Like, they always said that little fucker from the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Andrew Garfield, I didn't like him. Oh, big buckethead ass.
Hey, so what made Thanos throw the moon? What happened? I forgot what happened.
That
Did
was
just
after
get
he
fucked
broke.
with?
That was after he broke free, and he was real pissed off.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, no,
yeah.
no,
My bad.
no.
I jumped to the fucked up scene.
Yeah.
No, because Iron Man hit him in the face, and he said, "Oh, you did all that for that little drop of blood." Because
Yeah, but that was-
it actually made Thanos bleed. And then Thanos grabbed the fucking moon and threw it at him.
He throws the moon after he breaks free, though.
Yeah, I mean, he was pissed.
Yeah, he was a little pissed.
So
Until someone screwed that up.
So they got him in a crucifixion, right? Pretty much the position. Spread eagle with Mantis holding on to his brain as a sleep keeper.
And then hold up, we are skipping one part where they have to keep, as long as he keep his hands open, he can't use the fucking glove. We established that in that scene too. If he closes his hand, you're fucked. As long as they can keep his hand open, they're good.
How did we establish that, and how would they know that?
They saw him using it every time he used the glove. It would activate.
That before Thanos showed up, because we did skip this part. Doctor Strange doing his freak out shit where he watched 14
Oh yeah, we saw
million,
every possible outcome,
and only one
successful.
All of them failed except for one. So Strange has already seen every possible scenario play out. So
Strange already knows how the movie's ending. Strange already knows how the movie's ending, and
but that's how he knew the glove. Like, if you don't close his hand, you're good. So
I don't remember that actually being like said explicitly to say don't.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they told, like, Doctor Strange yells out, "Don't let him close his hand," and then that's when they all go after his hand and don't let him close it.
Okay.
Like,
I thought they were ripping it off.
They were, but if he closed his hand, they get fucked up. That's how they got him in the crucifix, because he couldn't close his hand. When he did close his hand, he was throwing moons at people. I mean, goddamn. Oh, but Strange said that. He actually said, don't let him close his hand. And then they all went ape shit on that gauntlet. So they get him in the crucifix thing. They almost have the glove off, and then Peter Quill's fucking retarded ass goes up and smacks fuck out of him.
Because punching him in the face is going to work.
Mantis had him in a partial state of sleep.
Peter finds out that Gamora's dead, and he loses his shit, basically.
Yeah.
How did that happen? I forgot how he found. I know he was asking him where Gamora was.
He was asking him where Gamora was, and he kind of struggles to say it, but Thanos basically admits that she's gone.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah.
He tells her that the Soul Stone's in the glove. Strange, I think, kind of hinted to it too. Like, the only way he could have got it was a sacrifice.
And then the one moment.
He figures it out midway through the fight that Gamora is dead because he has that stone. So pisses him off. Yeah. What happens next? Yeah. And then what happens next? I don't even remember.
And then we'll just fast forward. Fucking Tony Stark is about to die, and Doctor Strange says, "Wait."
Oh yeah, and I'll give you the stone if you let him live. And he says, "Okay, fine. No shit, no tricks, nothing like that." He gives him the stone. Tony Stark's like, "Why'd you do that?" Doctor Strange said it's the only way. Like,
It's the only way they beat him.
yeah.
Yep.
There's
Of
no
those
other way.
14
He said-
of those
14
14
different
some
ways,
odd
and there's
millions.
only one possible outcome.
Yeah. The only outcome is if he gets all the stones, basically.
Yeah.
So now
All
we can
right,
go to
so
Wakanda.
let's go to Wakanda.
So Siri, what's her? Is her name Siri? Suri? Whatever the fuck her name is.
Shuri.
Shuri.
She's like a fucking genius and basically suns the whole Bruce Banner by saying like, "You're fucking stupid for building him this way. We could have did it a whole lot better."
Yeah. What did you think of this? I don't know.
Banner's like, I don't, we kind of suck compared to y'all. So,
It's like, oh shit, I feel stupid.
so
This fucking little 15.
Shuri. Yeah, that fucking Doogie Howser bitch is like killing him. But she needs time to get all the shit that Banner fucked up undone so that she can get Stone out of his head. But then all these fucking ships show up, and then those mutant dogs from fucking whatever start tearing through the fence.
Killing themselves to go through the force field.
Yeah. So they start fighting, and then all that fuck shit happens. Go from there. Come on. I'm not going to be the only one telling the story.
All right, well, shit. The fucking alien dogs come in and try to, like, go through the force field, eventually killing themselves, and then they realize, well, shit, there's a bigger fucking city, so let's go around back. Panther realizes it and says, open up the fucking X sector so that we can funnel them in and fight them head on. And then they start fighting, and fucking all hell breaks out. They're losing, and who shows up?
Good old Scarlet Witch with her why haven't you been here the whole time statement.
Yeah.
And can we give a shout out to Wakanda, please? Because Wakanda's a badass motherfucking place.
Wakanda's fucked.
Yeah, Wakanda. Wakanda forever. Shout out Black Panther, Wakanda, everybody. So,
Right, and then fucking they end up going to fucking Shuri's joint, so she speeds up.
No. Okay, Suri, they anticipated that. Now,
Motherfucker, how you gonna make?
Wanda was supposed to be up there guarding Vision. As soon as they found out that Wanda wasn't up there guarding Vision, they already had that guy up there to attack Shuri. They were just waiting for Scarlet Witch to leave. That's what started that whole thing. So Scarlet Witch fucked up by going down there, actually. So then that guy basically beats the shit out of Vision.
Wait. See, you're jumping too fast.
No,
So
really not.
So Shuri finds out that fucking the aliens are coming into her room, and she speeds up something on the computer. What do you think she was speeding up?
The one guy was already in there. He was waiting on an opening where Wanda was going.
Semantics. I'm just trying to figure out what she was doing.
I figure she just started disconnecting things a little more haphazardly. Like, fuck it, let's just get this done. Go. Like, she quit being as careful as she was.
Because at that point, there was nobody there to destroy the gym either way. Like, they were going to get the gym. So they had to disconnect him from the shit. That's all that was.
And then he ends up getting up fighting, and they fall off the tower, right?
Yeah, because, I mean, they had no choice but to get him to help fight. So that's what they were doing, was disconnecting him so he could at least help fight, because there's nothing else. Like, there's nobody there to destroy the gym, and if they just leave him there, then he can just walk up and grab the stone, like, no problem.
Right. And then my boy shows up, right?
Who? Captain?
He's not really my boy, but...
Oh, God. Thor.
Thor just goes and opens up the Bifrost by himself.
Yeah, so Thor gets his little axe. He shows up there, fucks everybody up. And it turns out like Steve Rogers is a fan because they have the same haircut, same beard, and same stature.
Had a little moment together.
Yeah, they had a little bromance going on for a minute. Black Widow's fighting that Lady Death bitch again and whoops her fucking ass.
Because apparently Black Widow is just indestructible now.
She is like, I don't even know why they need other Avengers. Like, she's fucking badass.
Just
Well,
pseudo.
with her in general.
Yeah.
And then the bodyguard. Now we got to give a shout out to the bodyguard too. What is that chick's name? Black Panther's bodyguard, the bald headed chick.
Yeah, I just call her the general because she's
Yeah,
the general.
I don't remember her name.
So like Black Widow's fighting Lady Death bitch, and then slings that bitch up into a fucking motor, and it just splatters, and Black Widow's like, gross.
I tell you, they have like the best timing for jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for fucking Star-Lords. I couldn't stand that mother. Okay, and then now Vision gets out, and he's fucked up and stabbed, and then they all have to converge on Vision. Right? So they're all converging, trying to save Vision, and then
Thanos.
Thanos.
Yeah.
Then we have another arrival.
After Thanos gets the stone from Doctor Strange, he beams himself to Earth. And then you see everybody throwing everything they have at Thanos, just fucking him up, but he's not, it doesn't even affect him, and Thanos is just swatting him away.
Thanos haymakers Captain America, and I don't know how he survived that.
And then Vision, now this is the fucked up part. Poor old Vision. He has to convince Scarlet Witch to kill him. She doesn't want to do it, and then she finally says, okay, fuck.
Excuse me.
So she starts working on that forehead. Thanos is still coming towards her, and she has to back off, and she finally blows him the fuck up. Vision dies once, right? Then, to top all that off, Vision's dead, Thanos is there, and Thanos is like, bitch, I know how you feel. I lost people too. So,
Yeah, I mean, you.
but let me show you this cool trick I just learned. And then he winds back the clock. And poor Vision comes back to life just to have his fucking forehead caved in once again.
That was such
So
a
he had to
brutal
die not
scene.
once. Yeah,
That hurt to watch. Seeing the color in his
then-
body fade away, it was like, oh fuck.
And then Wanda's just like, bitch, I just watched him die once. You can't say you had to watch your loved one die twice. That motherfucker. And so now she's psycho and manic depressive. But Thanos has his fucking stone, right? But then here comes Thor with his big bad goddamn hammer of shit, right? And I don't give a fuck. He killed Thanos. Like, Thanos dead as shit.
But he didn't go for the head.
And, well, so Thanos sitting there dying, and Thor's like, okay, I told you I'd kill you, motherfucker. And Thanos is like, yeah, well, you did. But watch this shit. And then he disappears into another realm. So you take it from there, Rich. He goes and sees.
He sees
snaps
young.
his
He snaps his finger, and he sees young old baby Gamora asking whether or not it was worth it. And he says it was. And then shit hits the fan.
No, he says, she said, is it done? He says, yes. And she says, what did it cost? And he said,
Sorry, I've only seen the movie once, Sunshine.
I'm just getting it right, because we got to put the right information. Okay, now the significance of that is what? Did Thanos die when Thor threw that fucking hammer through him?
Dude, I don't think Thanos died. I don't understand how.
I don't think he was dying.
Yeah, he just got hit.
I think that's why he made the statement where you should have went for the head.
Yeah, I don't see how
up.
anybody would
There's no
think that
line
he
there.
was dead.
He got fucked up, but he was not dead.
Okay, well, this goes with my theory. Motherfucker, we on this now. All right, so Thanos dies. Now, we know in the comic book Thanos is in love with death. They're not going to say that shit in the movie, but if death is a manifestation...
Hold on. What makes you think he's dead? Why do you say he dies? Let's start that.
If the little baby Gamora is the manifestation of death, which in the comic books is who he talks to, then he would have had to die to talk to her, to speak to her face to face, because you can't talk to death unless you're dead. But now she curses him in the comic book to immortality, because if it costs everything, he said then he would have got what he wanted if he was alive. I mean, if he actually died, he would have got what he wanted because he would have been with Death, Gamora, for eternity. But since it cost him everything, he ain't allowed to die. That's his whole immortality thing for the comic book. So he's stuck alive. She says, fuck you, you're not dead. Go back to wherever the fuck you are and get out of here. And yeah. He had to die to talk to her.
I really don't think he's dead. He was just.
No, he's not dead. She brought him back, but
No, I don't think he died at all. I don't think he died at all in the first place.
Yeah, I don't think he died at all. I just think with all the stones put together, it sent him to a different realm.
I think he was in the soul plane, and his mind was basically communicating, sort of processing what had happened. He didn't have to die for that to happen.
After he snapped his finger, the glove was melting off of his hand. Like he didn't have that glove anymore.
His whole arm was fried. But that's just, I think, because he used all the fucking stones at once. I don't think that has anything to do with anything else.
So that's what I'm saying is the glove couldn't have sent him to another place because the glove
But the stone could have. The stone could have. The stones are fine.
Yeah, the stones are fine.
If he died,
he didn't have to die.
He had the fucking axe shoved through his shit, dude.
He's Thanos.
Yeah,
and that's that big fucking the only axe that can kill Thanos. Like
no, that's just Stormbreaker. It's not even. It's not the Thanos killer axe.
Okay, does the gauntlet does not make him invincible, like immune to death?
Yeah, right? I'm already aware of that.
So how?
Wait! Go back. Say that again.
The glove does not make him immune to dying. So what made him live through? What made him survive the fucking axe going through his chest?
So this is what I'm thinking. Okay, the glove might not, but once you're in possession of all the stones, there's got to be some type of protection to the holder of all the stones.
I assume he could just reverse time back to before he got fucked up in the chest, and he's fine.
See, but it doesn't really show that. I think that the possession of all the stones, it gives them pretty much fucking immortality because, dude has all stones.
But the gauntlet is what makes the stones work together. The gauntlet was melted off. While the stones might work in whatever, they're not going to work together. There's nothing to save his life.
Like I said, the time stone by itself could reverse that.
But he can't use it unless it's in the gauntlet, and the gauntlet was fucked up.
I don't know. Strange uses it.
You just don't want to agree that Thanos died.
Hold on,
I don't think Thanos died.
Sunshine, in your earlier conversation, you were saying that the stones were sentient. All of the stones were sentient, and me and Richard were saying the soul and possibly the mind stone were. Now, if they were all sentient in unison, then what's not to prevent them pretty much like securing the holder of all the stones?
Because he had to have the glove to use them. That was the purpose of the movie.
So what you're saying is
I'm not saying he stayed dead. He was only dead long enough to talk to Death and then she brought him back. Like in the comic book, she cursed him. Like,
right, but
immortality.
So when he went to that plane to see little Gamora, did he have the glove on?
No.
Okay. When he snapped his finger, because you said it melted off. I don't remember it being melted.
It was fucked up, but it wasn't melted. It was fucked up. His whole arm with that glove.
Yeah, I know his whole arm was, but the stones were still within the gauntlet that was still within his possession.
Yes.
No, it was melting off of his hand, though. It was burning off of his hand, literally. The power of
because when he went to the plane,
the axe heated up the metal that was on his hand, and it melted the fucking glove. Like the glove was melting off his hand. Like that destroyed the glove.
I'm about to watch this movie again.
Like not only did it shove through his chest, but the axe destroyed the glove. That was the whole purpose of the glove, the axe, because it could destroy the glove.
I still don't.
And
think
without
Thanos
the glove, he can't use it. But he already snapped his fingers. Like he snapped his fingers right before the axe went through his chest. So that's what fucks me up. Because if he didn't die, how else would he have talked to the Gamora? Like,
Oh, he's just on the soul plane. He's got the soul stone right there.
but don't you have to die to get to the soul plane?
We don't necessarily know any of that for this movie.
Right.
We don't know how these work. We don't know how any of this works. We're all theory crafting. There's no way to know.
If you're in possession of all 5 stones, there's got to be like an additional bonus power that you have. I mean, the carry of all stones.
But they only work if you have the glove, and the glove was fucked up. But he snapped his finger before the glove got fucked up. After the glove's fucked up, he can't do nothing.
Okay, so now you're saying the stones are where? They're gone?
No, he still got them, but
How does
the
he have
glove was
them?
fucked up.
Because
I don't know, because when he was like he wasn't even fucked up when he was talking to little baby Gamora. Like he wasn't cut, bruised, burnt, nothing. He was just like clean.
yeah, that's just a manifestation. I mean,
It's not a literal. It's not
Right.
like
So
like
you
if
don't
you have a broken
like-
arm in real life and you go to dream and you dream of yourself, you're not gonna have a broken arm in your dream. You're gonna be fucking regular.
Yeah. But then once he gets done talking to Gamora, little baby Gamora, he wakes up and he's in a sunset.
Contender's theory is each stone gives you a roid shot, and that's why he's fine.
Gives you a what?
A roid shot.
Oh, roid shot.
Yeah.
Motherfucker had like 15 roid shots before he even had one goddamn stone.
Well, one of them would have had to give him some Percocets or some hydrocodones or something because he was fucked up. But yeah, that whole part, I mean, just one of the damn theories has to be right. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we could be one we haven't thought of yet.
I just think it's just a manifestation of his conscious being. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing, no death,
I
nothing.
think Marvel might have used it to represent death, but I don't think it's literal in any sense of the.
Well, no, they're not. It sounds corny if you're like, oh, he's in love with death, but that's how it is in the comic books. But it makes more sense if death is Gamora. That would be the person he loves. But if Gamora was the Soul Stone,
See, now you've gone full crazy for me. I can't get behind that at all.
okay, if Gamora is the manifestation of death, right? If she is.
I don't think Gamora. I think the little projection in that one little scene is the representation of death, not Gamora as an entire character.
Okay, I can't even explain. It's too big of a thought to to put into words, I guess.
No, Touchdown, I get you. You know, in the comics, fucking Thanos is in love with death. Well, they can't really try to do that in the movies because that'll be just fucking weird and corny.
But in the
So
movies,
rather than making
he loves Gamora.
Yeah, instead of making death a character, they're gonna use Gamora as a like weird representation of death because
That's who he
Thanos
loves.
of Gamora, and therefore Gamora in this weird hydroplane off comic book storyline is like somewhat of a representation of death. I get what you're saying, Sunshine, but I think that's just a little bit too much. I just think that's just like his self-conscious saying, was it really worth it? Like you had this plan. It's kind of like, you know,
basically
you have something going on in your head and you finally get done doing this fucking big ass task. And you kind of ask yourself, man, was it really worth doing all this shit? It's not really death. It's just like your self-conscious asking you, was it worth spending 16 hours making this fence?
But it makes more sense if you look at what happened after he snapped his fingers when people started turning to dust. Then you say,
here we go. Let's hear this. Give
Oh, God.
Hey, we have 5 to 10 minutes, all right? We don't have 76 hours, all right?
okay, I'll make it the long story short. Basically, the people that died were the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so they can't actually be dead.
True.
I agree that they're the future of the cinematic universe.
The ones that lived, though, were the ones that their fucking contracts were about to expire, and they don't want to pay them millions of dollars anymore.
I agree with that also.
Okay.
So, not looking at any kind of weird shit in the movies, we got to assume that somehow those people that turned into dust are alive, and the ones that contract are about to expire in real life.
See, you lose me right there.
How does that lose you? That's like
Yeah,
Because
Rick,
they
can
don't-
you at least let him finish?
I'm
No,
telling you, like, I'm not even going into movie theories. I'm going into movie contract theories. Like, the
Well,
contract.
No, let's not talk about contracts because that's stupid. Let's talk about movie theories.
Okay, my movie theory is that the people that disappeared actually got sent somewhere where they're alive, and the ones that were left are the ones that are actually dead.
So it's kind of like Sixth Sense, right? That weird Bruce Willis thinks he's alive and
Yeah.
talking. Yeah. What makes you think that though? Take the contracts away. What makes you think that?
Because Thanos, well, it all ties in. Like Thanos, he would have had to die, but then he got sent back. So he got sent to the realm where the living got sent. And then you had all kinds of little shit like when Doctor Strange was disappearing, he said this was the only way. And he looked, it was kind of like they were telling him, Iron Man, like, sorry, you're fucking dead. And plus, there's no way Iron Man can get off that planet. Like, he's fucked either way. I went through nobody knows where he's at. Nobody can get to him. He can't get off the planet because all the ships are fucked up. Iron Man's fucked either way.
See, that's where I would have to disagree with you. This motherfucker made like an Iron Man suit in Afghanistan.
He doesn't even have to get himself off that planet. He is there with Nebula. All he has to do is get a message out of that planet, and they all to Rocket or anybody else. Rocket's like, "Why are you on that deadbeat planet?" And then Thor's like, "Well, I'm gonna Bifrost my ass over there and get them."
Now Nebula disappeared, and Thor has no idea where
Nebula did not turn to dust. We didn't see what happened to her.
And plus,
So
with
she
all
would be
that
very much
broken
be
tech, there's still a whole bunch of tech on that damn island.
Yeah,
They still got the tech ship or that little pod that they flew in.
It's fucked up, but it's not desolate. There's still all kinds of stuff there.
I don't know. It would be a stretch because like he couldn't even fucking land the thing by
Motherfucker, your
himself.
theory is a stretch.
Like he couldn't even land the ship by himself. How's he gonna fly it? Like, I don't know.
Well, he doesn't have to fly it. Like Rich said, all he has to do is get some kind of comm open and get it out there. Like the Milano, when the Milano picked up the distress signal from Thor's ship, they didn't know it was Thor's ship. They just picked up the distress signal and just went to it.
Yeah, anybody could find him. He can get back to Earth. He doesn't actually have to like build a spaceship and get his ass back there. All he has to do is get out some information that he's stuck there.
But how would he do that? And anybody
He's on
that
a
knew
planet that has tons of tech on it, and Nebula's there. Nebula knows how to do this stuff. She's the daughter of Thanos. Fuck, she's a robot by herself.
Well, okay, to speculate, what we do know is it's going to be Nebula that gets the fucking glove off of him and reverses the shit, because that's just how it happens. So we knew she was going to have to live somehow. But it's just,
how would you speculate that? How'd you get that theory? Like, what makes you think?
That's how, why are you guys just like, what are y'all's theories? Shit, y'all just making me look retarded.
No, no, because you literally just jump like fast forward to like part 2 at the end of part 2, and when you said what makes you think Nebula is going to take it off?
In the comic book, that's what happens. And then they've
We
already
know
said
that the movies aren't a 1-for-1 for the comics. So
they're not. But I mean, think about why Nebula's been through all this shit.
I think she is probably involved with the death of Thanos, but that doesn't necessitate any of your theory.
You know what though? I actually think Nebula is the one that's going to kill Thanos.
That's
what I agree with that.
Yeah,
I completely think that could happen, but that doesn't necessitate your idea of being the way it happens. Well, we could have the original 5 of the 6 Avengers go on an adventure to figure out how to beat Thanos.
Oh, wait. I'm glad you brought that up, Rich. So we got to backtrack to Sunshine when he talked about the realm of the living and, you know, the whole Sixth Sense stuff. Keep going. Talk about
I'm going off like 3 different theories, and y'all are tying them all like they're one. I'm just saying fact, Nebula's going to have something to do with Thanos' death.
But
Like,
okay,
they're already building that up.
I think the people that were turned to ass are living, and the people that are stayed are dead.
Well, what is Nebula, though? Because is the bitch like a robot? Is she even like a fucking thing?
She was a person, but she's been modified so much with tech that she's just this weird cyborg thing.
So could she have even like got snapped out of reality or dead or whatever?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe not, but
actually,
we don't know.
Well, I don't think she's completely robot. I don't think
she's completely a robot either. When we saw her breakdown, I'm pretty sure you could see like her actual brain inside.
Actually, you did. Yeah, you did.
I don't know. There's a whole weird thing with that shit because you don't know if like she would have counted as like when he's, you know.
I'm pretty sure she would count. I don't see why she wouldn't. She's still a living entity.
All right, Sunshine, go back about the whole Sixth Sense stuff.
Oh, fuck you.
Well, that's the best way. It's no joke to you. It's the best way that I can understand it. That's how I understand it as Sixth Sense. Because you're saying the people that are that were alive in the movie are actually dead, but they don't realize that they're dead. Right? So I mean, that's the Sixth Sense movie.
There's all kinds of little hints. Like after, like the very end credit scene, that was. But after that,
well, we'll get to that dumb shit.
No, after the end credit scene, what's it say? It says Thanos will return. It doesn't say anybody else will return. It just says Thanos. So why does it just say Thanos will return? They throw these.
Thanos was the star of this movie.
Yeah,
but
yes, that I completely agree with it. It's like in part 2 and part 3 of Iron Man and part 2 and whatever of Thor. They didn't completely always say Thor would be back. That's just how it ended.
That's a given that he was going to be back. Like there's got to be a reason why they just said Thanos will be back. Like,
because the motherfucker never died.
Right. But if the people you think are alive at the end of the movie are actually dead, then it makes more sense because you don't know what happened to the people that disappeared. So
if we go to straight movie, no speculation, just as at face value, then you would assume that the people that passed away are dead.
Right.
At face value, not anything else.
So then that little scene would say the surviving Avengers and Thanos will return. It wouldn't have just Thanos will return.
That's way too wordy. That's terrible writing.
I know. I mean, fuck yeah. But why did they put that?
Because he was the star of the goddamn movie.
Yeah, but it's a given.
This was Thanos' story. This was Thanos' story. This wasn't the Avengers story. This was Thanos' story.
But you knew he was coming back, and they put that right after the end credit scene, like just
the same way they did. The same thing they did for Spider-Man. The same thing they did for Avengers. The same thing they did for all the main characters of that particular movie.
I don't know. Y'all are just fucking with me at this point because y'all think crazy.
I'm still trying to figure out what makes you believe the Sixth Sense theory. You haven't explained to me that yet. What makes
what I was
you
trying
think?
to get out of him yesterday.
Okay. It would take like literally another hour to explain it all, but there's so many like little clues in it. Like, for example, Iron Man standing over all the bodies that he's been looking at for 6 fucking years since the first Avengers movie. He's had this vision in his head that he's standing over everybody's body. All that shit all goes together. Like,
but couldn't that be just a representation of him being alone? Kind of like how he's alone on Titan?
I mean, that could also be the end of the next movie. That could not have even happened yet.
I don't know. If you look at like everybody that's dead on the ground, those are the ones that survived. Like, didn't turn to dust, except Hulk, but Hulk wasn't dead. He was the only one that was alive on the ground.
And I'm saying that could be the ending of the next movie. Or it could not even be literal. It could just be his mind dealing with shit.
I don't know.
I just think that's his mind saying that, dude, you're going to be alone.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It goes together with the whole shit. He's always had somebody with him, somebody next to him, and now he's completely the fuck alone. He's going to die alone, all that shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dude's alone.
Right. If all that's been predicted, then he's fucking on that planet to die alone.
He doesn't have to die alone for it to happen then. It doesn't have to happen on that planet.
That's just but why would they would make him alone again somewhere else? That's just too much plot time. That's like, so he was alone at the end of one movie, he's alone at the end of this movie.
That could be the literal end of the next movie when the original Avengers are gone. They've done their giant journey to bring back all the people who died in this movie, and now it's a passing of the torch.
Or he's just being scared of being alone.
Or it could be that. Or you could just think way too it, and he's just afraid of being alone. And those were the only characters that existed when that movie was going on.
I don't know. That's what I believe. It would take too long for me to explain it all. There's a lot of little shit that went into it, and it's just. And y'all are just sitting here y'all are just fucking with me right now because y'all just want me to say it so I'll sound crazy live on the fucking internet. But that's cool, and I'm not gonna do that. So.
Well, look. Think about it like this: either one of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to sound fucking crazy and stupid, or you're going to be fucking brilliant.
I told you I don't actually have problems with your theory. It's just your obsession that it's right that drives me crazy.
No, it's not that, because I have another theory that's a completely different one that you keep tying in with this one. So it's not the only theory I have. Like Jesus fucking Christ, it scared the fuck out of me. Okay, so the other theory would be if
this is the longest podcast ever.
I know, it's going to be fucking forever.
Yeah, fuck
the other
it,
theory
keep going. I mean,
if Gamora was like the stone,
the Soul Stone,
like Gamora turned into the Soul Stone.
Okay.
So if she is the Soul Stone, then she could have somehow, when he snapped his fingers, like all the people that disappeared, it would have looked like they died, but she was actually protecting them in the stone, and they were stuck in the stone with her. Then the people that lived would just have to figure out how to get them out of the stone, and then everybody lives at the end of the movie. You know what I'm saying?
No, say that a little bit.
Okay, if she was the stone, she could manipulate it to where it looked like Thanos won, but she actually took half of everybody he thought he killed and put them in the Soul Stone. They're not actually dead; they're just kind of in limbo, chilling in the Soul Stone, and then the other ones could figure out how to get them out of the Soul Stone.
I actually have less issue with that than your other theory.
Oh, fuck you.
Well, why do you say that, Rich?
Because that would play into the original Avengers just need to figure out how to bring back all the people who disappeared.
See, and you didn't even say that last night. You were just like, you're fucking crazy. None of your theories are all your theories are shit.
No, yesterday I had one goal, and that was just trying to make you disprove other possibilities, and you weren't disproving other possibilities.
But then, Sunshine, that kind of goes along what you just said. What was Thanos' plan, and what Gamora kind of outlined was that he wanted to kill half the people. So, with Gamora being the Soul Stone, by virtue of the conscience of Thanos, he's probably inadvertently saved half the people and moved them somewhere else.
Yeah, well, okay. Either way, if the first theory, if they would have died, if the people that you saw live would have actually been dead, they would have just stayed on this dead plane. Whereas the other ones, the living ones, would have went to an entirely different peaceful realm where everything was peachy and half the population was gone. It would have split the realms. It would have been like a dead realm and a living realm.
Why couldn't they just share the same realm? Like motherfuckers are just dead and people are alive on Earth.
Yeah.
Then why did they turn to dust? Why didn't he just drop them then? Why did they turn
Because
to dust?
Marvel can't show people exploding into blood. They had to
They
figure out some way to
fucking
show
did
everyone
the
dying.
entire fight in Wakanda. The bitch blew up the fucking.
This would not
boat.
get a PG-13 rating if people are just fucking exploding all over the damn place.
Well,
You
who
know,
said they had-
Disney was like, let's give him a peaceful ending and turning him into
Exactly.
Ash.
How can we show death without actually showing death? It's the same reason it's the same reason you get to see Vision die, because he's not really human, but you still get to see a meaningful death that way.
I don't know if because then they could have just had them all just drop or something. Like it makes no sense. They took them somewhere.
So you're saying because the Ash scene, there's got to be more to it. The Ash has meaning.
Yeah. Exactly.
I just think they're fucking dead.
Yeah, so do I.
But then explain to me how Thanos didn't die when he fucking had the X shoved through him. I mean,
Because he was Thanos in possession of all the stones.
but never mind. See, we did.
Yeah, I honestly believe the Keeper of All Stones has like an additional power. Like with our powers combined, you know, some
He's
shit
Captain
happens.
Planet.
Yeah, look, Captain Planet gets tired too, and this goddamn glove was tired. And this fucking glove had already saved his ass when all the Avengers were throwing all the shit at him. And then this motherfucker has some goddamn axe that was created out of a sun that was supposed to be dead, that was created by some god that had no fucking hands. I mean, the Stones were like, dude, this motherfucker is asking too much right now. So, I don't know. Why don't y'all have theories? Gee, y'all putting me on the spot like I'm retarded.
Bro, because we're both saying they're dead.
Yeah, that is our theory. They are dead.
Okay, then they're dead. But they're not going to be permanently dead because that's future of the fucking MCU.
Oh yeah, I agree. That's the whole point of the next movie. Got to bring them back.
So how do you bring them back?
Fuck, I don't write movies.
If they weren't dead, it's pretty fucking easy.
Well, no, like legit. Is Thanos that narcissistic that he comes back?
No,
with the glove
because
and they somehow take, you know, whatever. Like how? Because
Okay,
Thanos
if
is
it
in
cost
that
him,
weird reality right now, away
If
from
it co-
everybody.
if Thanos says it cost him everything, then he wouldn't be able to sit there and hang out with Gamora for the rest of eternity. He would have had to like. That would have been like winning for him.
Actually, he can. Actually, he can. I mean, using the reality stone, he can do whatever he wants. He can project anything and everything.
But then it wouldn't have had a cost.
Well, the cost is solitude. Is him being alone forever.
But you just said he could stay with Gamora.
As
he wouldn't be
a
alone.
projection. As a projection. It's kind of like having multiple personalities and me sitting at my dining room table and I'm talking to like my chair, but I'm seeing fucking sunshine, and to my right, I'm talking to this chair, but I'm actually seeing Richard. It's just like multiple personalities type deal, and just seeing whatever he wants to see, to play out whatever he wants to play out in his head. They're not there for real, but that's what he's seeing, and he's able to talk to them like an invisible friend.
I'm scrolling up past all your little like comments about me watching conspiracy channels and shit, but
Bro, hey, you were into that shit, man. Conspiracy channels, videos, fucking blogs, websites.
So let's wrap this up. What's our closing thoughts on this?
Hold on. I gotta get to my bitch. Hold on,
All
wait.
right.
Before we get to my bitch, Sunshine, do you have any bitches about this movie?
bitches about it. I didn't like Star-Lord. I thought he sucked.
He didn't what?
I didn't think he like showed any emotion towards it. It just what I didn't like his acting in it. And he's been good as Star-Lord before. I just didn't like him in this.
How about you, Rich?
I guess my only real issue is the very beginning of the movie. I have too many unanswered questions. Loki's death seemed anticlimactic. That's really the only thing that comes to mind right now.
Sunshine, what's the best part of the movie for you?
I guess when Gamora died. I mean, it wasn't the
That
best
was the best
part.
part?
No, it was like it made
That's
you
like the most
like
impactful moment.
it made you like Thanos. It made
How
him
about-
more relatable. Like I liked him after that. Like, damn, the dude's got a heart, you know.
Rich, you?
I like how Thor was finally represented in this movie. I don't know. I don't really have much negative about it. I like that every character sort of has their own little shining moment.
Like they're like a subplot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think Marvel did like a super job giving Thanos emotions and having the audience kind of get drawn into. Well, at least for me, you know, they project them in a way that you kind of, for me, almost sympathize and kind of like feel sorry for the kid. And then especially to top it off when Gamora died, you're just like, damn.
Yeah, I completely
Here's
agree. They
what
made him a compelling character. They made you give a shit.
Yeah.
Tell us about
But
your
I-
favorite scene at the end of the movie.
All right, real quick. I know we're trying to wrap this up.
Damn, now you thought I was crazy. Listen to this fucking shit. That we had to listen to this shit for like 12 hours one night because he just would not let it go. Since y'all got on Tito, you made me look stupid now. You stayed on this shit for 12 hours.
So I have to agree. This is one thing that I just could not wrap my head around because it made absolutely no sense. Like no sense, and I still can't like make sense out of it. Okay, so you know the very last the post credit scene at the end of the damn credits, right? Which took damn near 10 minutes to get there for like 30 seconds. You know that scene, but where everybody was turning into ash, and then you see Nick Fury pull out the old 1990s pager, right? Send out a distress call, and he was like, "Oh, and then he goes ash, and then the camera pans down, and you see, you know, Marvel's little symbol. That's where I have my issue. All right,
That's
we've been
it.
introduced.
That's it. No, we had to listen to this shit. You was sitting there saying,
Hold on, no. I'm about to get it. No. I'm just setting it up for my real issue.
Okay, here we go. I'm just making sure I'm not the only one that looks crazy by the end of this.
Hold on, I gotta plug up my phone because like this might take a couple of minutes. Anyways,
This
right?
gets deep.
So, out of all the motherfuckers that Marvel wants to introduce, they want to introduce Captain Marvel, and I have issue with that because you know you're talking about Infinity War, Infinity Gauntlet. All right, there's a major character that hasn't been fully introduced, but there's been like a cameo appearance in 2 movies, right? In Guardians of Galaxy 1 and Guardians of Galaxy 2. And I'm talking about Warlock, right? You had the cocoon in part 1, and then you had that little hydro machine in part 2. So I don't understand why they didn't just use those 2 cameos as a segue for that distress call to like Aisha or whoever the fuck is holding. And, you know, the end credit scene, rather than being Captain Marvel, was like the cocoon opening up and Aisha or somebody was like, "We got trouble," or some shit like that. And then bam, Warlock comes out or the Warlock symbol shows up. So that I didn't understand. 2 was the Nova Corps. We've been introduced to the Nova Corps already. Why not segue into Nova and having him as fully appearing? But to introduce Captain Marvel as what I call as a savior for part 2, because just the way I interpreted that page distress to, hey, we are fucked up, we need a savior, come out here and help me. I don't understand why they would use
a brand new character, even though they are doing a backstory of the '90s, and that's a whole other shit I could get into. Because like, where the fuck was she in fucking Guardians of the Galaxy? Where the fuck was she in Avengers 1, Avengers 2? Like, she just pretty much said, "Fuck it, I ain't dealing with you." But they want to use her for Infinity War when they had the Nova already introduced and they already quasi-introduced Warlock through the Cocoon. That was my problem. I just couldn't understand why they wanted to introduce a brand new character like Captain Marvel when you already had a somewhat introduction of Warlock and the Nova Corps and Nova.
And our response to that was the simplest possible answer, which was, who the fuck else was Nick Fury going to call? I mean, like...
Well, I mean, and... Like,
he's not saying... It doesn't make her the savior. She's just... There's nobody else to fucking call. Like, that was it.
He's like, Nick Fury's just like, shit's hit the fan. I don't know what to do anymore.
I'm finna disappear, and you're the only person I got to beep her on. Like, you're.
I do understand what you're saying, though, Tito.
Yeah.
And the only reason I don't have an issue with it is because they've already made announcements that wouldn't be happening.
Like, okay,
so I guess
so the Nova Corps is the intergalactic police. So they have sectors and squadrons, kind of like the Green Lanterns do. They're like, holy shit, fucking Titan got fucked up. Holy shit, Earth got fucked up. Let's dispatch like people out that way. And here comes Nova. Woo, right?
The question is anything left of the Nova Corps? We know Xandar got fucked up. We know Xandar got fucked up.
Off of was what Gamora says, half the population. So at least half the population.
For all we know, the half that got destroyed is a Nova Corps.
The whole police.
Thanos was like, no, let's just get rid of this crap because I don't want to deal with that. All you guys you're fine.
And I mean, and that was my issue is you already had introduced. If you're trying to get away from the Phase 1 people, well, you have characters that were introduced in Phase 1 and I don't know, Phase 1.5, Phase 2 that you could have integrated into, Part 2. But introducing a Part 4, a Phase 4, Phase 5 character into now, I just didn't understand it. It made me scratch my head like, dude, you had Warlock that you had and Nova. Why are you bringing in Marvel? And Sunshine, my shit is not as crazy as your shit, okay?
No, you just put a lot into, like, you're putting way too much thought into that. Like, you're putting way too much thought.
It's no thought. Like, legit, it's like, yo, you introduce these cats. Why don't you just use them for,
Warlocks. We know Warlock's part of Guardians 3. We know Warlock's Guardians 3. That's the reason right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, Captain Marvel is not powerful enough to beat Thanos on her own, but she is powerful enough to at least wield the glove. Like, she could wield it and it wouldn't kill her.
Yeah,
that would an average person. And we know that Nebula is going to somehow get the glove and reverse shit, but then in the comic, I'm just saying this is in the comic. I'm not saying it's going to fucking happen. It's not one of my theories. Like, she snaps her fingers, everything goes back to normal, but then she gets power hungry and they have to get the glove from her. So Captain Marvel could take Nebula. She couldn't take Thanos, but she could probably beat the fuck out of Nebula if she had to.
Well,
that would make sense there.
Rich, if they were going to use Warlock, now I'm about to get into some Sunshine shit, right? So,
put on your tinfoil cap.
All right, so let's say that would have been a perfect, segue for fucking Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Warlock comes in, fucks some shit up, and then now he wants to be the mad, in his own way, the mad Titan, and that's how the Guardians of the Galaxy has to come in and fucking handle business in Part 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, they come in, and then Warlock becomes money hungry. I mean, just like fucking kills or kills them. And with him being part of that, what is that race anyways? I'm going to call it the Aisha race. I forgot what that race was.
I forgot what they're called.
So the Aisha race, they're like completely narcissistic and above everybody else. So what's not to assume that Warlock can't get to that level and then becomes an enemy, and then they fight and hug and shit like that, and then he becomes part of the good guys.
Well, that goes back into the comic. Like if you had, let's say you introduced Warlock as an end credit scene, right, of the next one. Somebody has to hold the gauntlet because it can't just can't hand it to anybody. And Captain Marvel don't want the motherfucker, and she's the only one that can wield it. They could like take it to him and be like, "Here, hold this," and he promises, like, "Okay, I'll hold it." That's your end credit scene. And then he's like, because in the comic, he's the in the comic, like Warlock is he has the gauntlet.
Okay. Well, see, that makes even more fucking sense to what I'm trying to fucking convey.
Yeah, I don't. What are you not wrapping your head around then? Like,
why the fuck is Captain Marvel coming in when you had Warlock in the Nova Corps? Why?
Because Warlock's an end credit scene.
Because Warlock isn't ready yet. He's still in the microwave.
They haven't even.
He's still incubating.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't even cast him yet, cuz they're trying to find an actor that looks kind of gay, but not really. They can't really find.
All you gotta do is look for a California Surfer Boy.
No, Fabio is going to play Warlock.
Yeah, see my point. California Surfer Boy.
You know what? It could be Tom Cruise though.
Please. And that was my bitch. I mean, look, they had Warlock in Guardians of the Galaxy 1. When was that? 2012, 2014, or some shit like that. So they had a couple of years to incorporate him into this Infinity War as an end credit scene, and then use Marvel as an end credit scene for Part 2.
Well, they named him an end credit scene, and they got to save something for the next phase. They've got 19 fucking movies in 11 years working up to what you saw now, so they're not just gonna throw it all out there at once. They take their time on the shit.
So would it be safe to assume that Warlock is going to be the new Thanos?
Well, he's got to get the glove if they go by anything, dude.
I could see him being the new enemy. Yeah.
But once he gets the glove, then he could betray him or something,
Yeah.
Like they could hand the glove over to him, and then everything's all in good, and then he gets a power trip because he's got all this power now. So.
Wait, hold on. Didn't the Nova Corps hold a stone?
Yeah, that's where he got the Power Stone.
So the Nova Corps, anyways, then
Nova Corps. That's what I'm saying. Nova Corps, like that might be the half of Xandar that got destroyed. He killed all them off, got the Power Stone, and that's
actually kind of weird. They didn't even mention that. Not even like in 2 seconds, because it literally just now clicked in my head. I'm like, wait a second, fucking the stone was over there.
Yeah, that's where he got the Power Stone.
Yeah, I'm surprised there wasn't a mention about that.
There's mention of it earlier, I think, though, in like one of the other like post-credit scenes of a different movie. There's been 19 movies, so I mean, like he got the glove. Like this is what I don't get is he got the glove out of the first Thor movie, out of under Asgard, right? You see him reach in there and grab the glove, but now they're saying he had the glove built up on this fucking star.
I'm pretty sure they retconned the gloves that were in the original Thor movie. I thought I remembered that.
But that was a post-credit scene. Thanos reaching in there, grabbing the glove, and saying, "I'll do it myself."
Place. So they never had it to begin with.
Who? Asgard?
Yeah,
I don't think Asgard ever had the gloves. I think that was a fake.
Asgard never had it because Hela came down and said that's fake.
Yeah.
No, Loki had it the whole time though. Like
What
they
the
thought
fuck?
they had it, but Loki had the motherfucker. The Tesseract, right?
No, we're talking about the glove.
We're talking about the glove.
Oh, the glove. Yeah.
The one on Asgard was fake.
Yeah, the one in Asgard was fake. They like Rich said, they retconned the shit out of that, especially when Hela came in.
Hela basically just confirmed their retcon.
See that's a plot hole to me that they just tried to cover up.
Well, that's exactly what it is, but that's what happened.
Yeah, well, like you said, it's 19 movies, so they, they were making a movie, and all of a sudden, like, wait, this doesn't make sense.
At some point, they realized this shit's working. We better start planning ahead better.
But that's what I'm saying with the Warlock thing. I'm sorry, I know I'm stuck on Warlock, but they should have planned all this shit out with, like, fucking, as soon as they thought about the end credit scene with the pager, like, wait, why are we doing Marvel? We fucking already introduced Warlock. Why don't we just fucking stay with Warlock?
Because James Gunn's like, I got plans for that motherfucker.
And when they started this whole shit, it was going to be Joss Whedon's baby, and then the Russo brothers took over. So,
which they did a fucking phenomenal job. So, I think I told you, Sunshine. I guess I don't know if we're coming to an end, but
no,
if there was a Frankenstein movie. If there was a Frankenstein movie that was being made perfectly, this would probably be the best Frankenstein movie, because they had so many fucking moving parts that they had to put together and make it flow correctly that it was freaking phenomenal. Not that Justice League shit that I saw.
Hey.
No, I completely agree.
Justice League had 2 movies to do what Marvel had 19 movies to do. So, I mean, they had a head start.
Yeah, but fucking Infinity War had, like, what, 20 characters? And it all made sense. Like,
I know. I'm not denying that DC sucks. I'm just saying they started late. They should have just let The Dark Knight be the beginning of that fucking universe.
DC just wanted to have their Infinity War as their second movie.
Yeah, let's throw out fucking...
well, no. DC actually had the right path, but all the directors was like, I'm getting tired of being fucking told what to do and get dropped off. So it kept pushing every fucking movie back. But Snyder was still on board, so he was always attached to Justice League, and he was like, fuck it, I'm still gonna do it. Whether Flash was gonna be made, whether fucking Aquaman is gonna be made. The only one that stayed on schedule was fucking Wonder Woman.
Well, women are always on schedule, and they had a woman director, women actresses. It's going to happen. It's going to be on time.
So when does Batman get the Infinity Gauntlet?
Well, I'm thinking fucking after Joker grabs it from Thanos.
It's probably a good idea.
Are y'all just fucking making I got some other theory coming out or something? The fuck
are you looking up web pages?
Yeah. Why?
Because I'm trying to end this shit. I'm tired. I need to hit the gym. It's 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm good to go. We don't need to do a 24-hour stream.
I've been ready since y'all been making me look stupid an hour ago. I was ready to wrap this up as soon as you said, let's hear your theory. I was like,
bro, but I mean, dude, I'm not going to lie. I like your theory. I just need to know your thought, why you came to it. Like the ashes,
yeah, I've told you I don't actually hate your theory. I just don't like the way you approach it.
Okay. I'll throw one more thing out there. Look at how they turned into Ash. Like, you had all the main characters running towards who they wanted to. They weren't acting like they were dying. When Strange turned into Ash, he said this was the only way. And he looked at Stark like, oh, fuck you. I'm going away. You're stuck here.
Spider-Man 100% acted like he was dying. I don't know what you're going on about.
No. He said, I don't want to go. He didn't say I was dying. He said, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he said. I don't want to go. I don't want to leave you.
That's 100% him acting like he's dying.
But...
And that's 100% Disney saying, I don't want Spider-Man said, I'm dying.
Yeah.
Y'all are just working at every excuse not to go along with it. But if you look at it like... Okay, then you had Falcon was running towards Captain America, like flying towards him, and then he disappeared. You had Bucky going like Cap, walking towards Captain America, and then he disappeared in front of him.
Okay, so let me. Okay, hold on. I think I know where you're going with this. I think so. Is it? Let me know if I'm going correct, because I'm starting to vision what you're visioning, but I don't know if it's the same vision. As they're going to, all right, Bucky going to. Oh no, it doesn't make sense because Spider-Man said, "I don't want to go," because I was envisioning.
He said, "I don't want to leave you." He's saying he's leaving him there. Like, Spider-Man's going somewhere else. He said, I don't feel good. I don't want to leave you. Hold on to me because I don't want to go. He looked at Iron Man like a father figure, so he didn't want to leave him there by himself.
See, I was envisioning. Oh man, this is gonna be. I don't even know how to try to explain this. I'm gonna try to explain it, but complete reverse role rather than Falcon ashing away. It's actually whoever else ashing away. But as the audience, we see Falcon ashing away, but Falcon is actually seeing the other person ashing away.
Or it's like they knew that they were the survivors, so they somehow knew that they were fixing to live and the others were going to die. That would also explain why, what's his name? Nick Fury didn't panic. He was just like, fuck it, I'm going to hit this button and then disappear. Because nobody was scared when they were disappearing. They were just like, what the fuck?
Because I don't think anybody knew what the fuck was happening.
Yeah, but like the ones that didn't disappear didn't know what was happening. The ones that did disappear acted like they knew what was going on because they were going towards the people they cared about.
All I know is I like your idea that they're stuck in the Soul Stone. I dislike the idea that the people we saw alive are actually dead.
It's the same theory, though, because
no, it's not.
It goes along with the people that turned into dust aren't fucking dead at all. They're not. They're just not.
I mean, I might be able to get behind them actually being inside of the Soul Stone, but I don't have any reason to think the people that we saw alive aren't actually alive.
Yeah, them fuckers are dead, dude. They're dead.
I mean, I lean towards they could be dead, but I could get behind them being in a Soul Stone. That doesn't hurt my brain the way the other stuff does.
Fuck.
Hey, if anybody's still watching this, you have to understand that for like 3 days, we've heard Sunshine trying to justify this theory. Like
it was
3 days.
Last night. It was last night.
Okay, maybe, but it felt fucking 3 days because you kept going at it.
It just felt like 12 hours is all.
It was no worse than listening to you wrap your head around why Captain Marvel. Why?
Mine should make more sense than your shit.
Yeah, but yours, you kept going on with it when we were like, this is why.
Let's
Now
end
you
it,
know how-
guys. Let's end it here.
We could do this all night. We probably will in the group chat all night.
All right, let's end it. We're good.
All right.
Y'all have a wonderful evening. Thank y'all for coming out.
Appreciate it.
If you made it this far, leave us a comment down below because you win a fucking cookie or something. If
Yeah, I
you
don't even know
watch the
how long it's
entire
been.
thing and we can prove it, we will fucking send you a prize.
There will be a quiz on this later.
Like, we can figure that out. Go through the live chat. If somebody stayed like the entire time, fuck yeah, we'll give them something because goddamn, we didn't make any sense. All right, so y'all have a wonderful evening. Y'all want to say bye or what?
Yeah, hey, seriously appreciate you guys coming and listening to our nonsense.
It was
Yeah.
really nonsense. Thank you for not calling me retarded in my face.
Yeah, thanks for listening to this, whatever this is.
Fucking hot mess. God damn, you gotta quit.
End it. Cut it there. Cut it there.